This keep a secret makes me thousands of dollars a year selling used books on Amazon FBA, and it's done all right here at my desk at home after I come home from work. What's up, everybody? I'm Joji Davenport. I'm a high school teacher, but also a part-time Amazon FBA book reseller, and I'm here to teach you how to make some money selling used books on Amazon. So if you're a new Amazon FBA bookseller and you're just getting started, this is the perfect channel for you to follow because my goal is to teach you how to make a couple extra $100 a month. So with that said, let's get right into it. Okay, the premise for how we're going to make money is through a process called online arbitrage. It's going to be using a software called Keepa, and the goal is quite simple, bruh. It's buy the book low, sell the book high. Okay, I don't know why I just got into that, but that's the premise of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to buy the book low, sell the book high. So how does that work? Well, we do that using a Chrome extension called Keepa. It basically tracks data of every product sold on Amazon. What I've done here is pulled up a book that I actually purchased on April 27th and sold later on for a profit using this method I'm about to show you. So the first thing I want to show you is this black used line. This is the used price of this book over the last year. And obviously, staring you right in the face is this massive drop in price. If I hover my cursor over right here in April, the beginning of April, you can see that the price of this book was $78.88. That was the lowest price this book was at. And then all of a sudden, the price started tumbling quickly. And that's because you had two sellers who were competing for the lowest used price, and the repricers kept going lower and lower and lower. Because nobody was buying this book, the prices kept going down, down, down until the lowest amount that their reprices were set at. So what I did was I actually came across this book on April 22nd, and the lowest used price was about $15. But I noticed this pattern. I said, you know what? $15, maybe the price can go a little bit lower. I could have probably easily made money. I could definitely have made profit at $15, but I wanted to go a little bit lower. So what I went ahead and did was I went ahead and tracked this product. So I clicked on this track product feature, and I went ahead and put that I wanted to track this product for $10. What that means is whenever the price of this book falls below $10, I want Amazon to send me an email. Okay, so $10, track this for 3 years, update tracking. You can see that it's going to send me an email at that email address to notify me when that happened. It just turns out that not that long after, here on April 27th, the price went down to $9.97, which means I got an email. And so when I opened that email, I was like, let's take a look at this book and look at its past history. It's sold a number of times well above $50. It's sold a couple times in here for $70, a couple times in here for $60. And for those of you who go like, how do you know that? Well, this green line called the sales rank is an indicator of when the book sold. So all you have to do is sort of hover that over and match that up to the lowest used price or the new price, and that gives you an indication of what the book sold for. So for example, if we look at this one drop in sales rank and we hover over the black used line, this basically tells us two things: that the book sold at this point in time and that the lowest used price was $56. So probably the book that sold was priced at $56. Now that's not necessarily true because it could have been an Amazon FBA seller. It could have been another seller who was above $56. But the point is it's sold at that price. So given this history of the book selling for well above what its current value was at that time, I decided to pull the trigger because I was able to buy low, buy undervalued, and sell high. Not really sell high because I'm kind of just selling for what its normal price. And I ended up selling this book a little bit later on for a total of $78.95. And just to prove that I did in fact buy it, you can see I last purchased here April 27th. And you can see right here that the purchase price was $13.96. And if we go ahead and look at the breakdown, that's going to be a total of a $45 profit. Okay, let's go to another book that I utilize this track product feature again, The Secret of Keepa. Okay, Patterns of Fashion 2. So if you take a look at this Keepa graph and you look at the black used line and you compare the sales rank to it, again, sales rank tells you when it sold, black line tells you what the lowest used price was. If you zoom in on some data, you can see, okay, look, sales drop there, $199. Sales drop here probably at 71, 71, 71. Right up here, probably sales drop at 99. If we go a little bit further back into history, a couple sales drops up here around 100. Some sales drops here at 78 and also over 100. So when I started tracking this book on June 29th, the price of the book was actually $162. So that's a lot of money for this book. It's actually overvalued. That's probably why no one was buying it. But I said at a price of $30, that would be significantly undervalued in comparison to what it has been selling for. And it turns out that a little bit later on, this book did actually reach a price of $29.98. And because I was tracking the product, right, tracking here for $30, I got sent an email, a notification. I went ahead and looked at the book and said, you know what? I think $29.98, that's an undervalued book. I can buy it low, sell it high. Now, not really sell it high above what its true value is. It's just to sell it for what its normal value is. What's going to be probably around that like $100 mark. Okay, so just to show you that I did buy this, July 4th purchased, was actually the last purchase I had purchased this, but bought it for $29.98 and for a grand total of $33.97. Now, if I go to the Amazon selling page, you can see that I sold this book for $213, which is well above kind of what we were looking at here for the normal price that it should have been selling at. But that just goes to show you that the lowest used price isn't always what the book is selling for. That's just what the lowest used price on Amazon is. A lot of the times the book can sell for a lot higher than that, especially if the other sellers are Amazon FBA sellers. And yeah, that can happen. Okay, let's look at a third book that I made profit on using this Keep a Secret. Okay, so the Road to Freedom book. Again, if you look at the Keep a chart, you look at the black use line, and we take a look at the sales rank over time, we can see that sales ranks dropping here at 89, 89. If we look a little bit further back into time, again, it's dropping here about 115. There was a new copy available at $79. That would be the blue line there. Okay. But again, we look back into its history, it's selling for well over $100. So back here in March or February 28th, I said, you know what, looking at this past history, if this book ever got to the value of, let's say, $7.34, then I could definitely buy it and I could flip it on Amazon, because that would be well undervalued. Now, it turns out that I ended up buying this book here on May 19th, and the price that I bought that book for was $19.46. Now, it turns out that I actually didn't find this book again from getting that notification, but I did buy it here at this time for the $19.46. I actually found it using the deals page. But if I had my tracker set just a little bit higher, I would have in fact got that email and bought the book. And what I ended up doing was actually later on raising my desired price to $20, because my desired price, $7.34, was pretty low. I think what I did is I probably just tracked the lowest ever instead of, tracking a price that I just randomly determined would be a good price to buy it at. But I did end up buying it for that amount. You can see that it sold here on Amazon for $97.02. And if we go and look at the breakdown of that book, that would be a profit of $49.80. And by the way, if we go back to the previous book that we looked at, the Patterns of Fashion 2, bought that for $33, sold for $213, made a profit of $140. And again, remember everyone that this is just me buying books here at home. These leads that I'm setting up for myself just come to me naturally, right? I don't have to do any active monitoring of these books. All I have to do is set a price of a book that I think I can make money on if it ever dropped to that price. And if I get an email, I can just quickly look at it any point of the day, and I can decide whether or not it's a good buy. Okay, the last book that we're going to look at, just so that this video doesn't get too long, or actually the last book that has actually sold, we'll go over right now. I'll show you a couple of books that I have recently purchased that I think will make some good money. But this book here, I bought on March 18th, The Art Forger's Handbook. So again, same story. Look at the used price, the historical used price over time, and overlap the sales rank. We can see that this book is routinely selling for about $75 to $85. That being the lowest used price, a few times selling up here in the $100 and the $90 range. So back here on March, let's see, this would have been March 4th, I set a used tracker, for $45. And that $45 mark was reached right here on this day, which was March 18th. The price dropped down to $43.07. And if you look here, you can see that is factually true. I bought it for $47.06. That would have been the $43 plus the shipping added to it. And again, that's an undervalued book because it's historically selling for north of $80. Now I went ahead and sent it in Amazon. It ended up selling for $189.99. Again, that's because when you're an Amazon FBA seller, you can generally charge a premium for that service of getting the free shipping, getting the customer service. So I was able to actually sell this right here. So I was actually able to sell this for significantly more than, the lowest used price. But the point is, if you're an Amazon FBA seller, a lot of the times you can get the buy box, you can sell the book for significantly more than what the lowest used price is. Okay, so the last two books that we're going to look at are going to be books that I've recently found that I'm going to send in Amazon and I'm going to try to sell. So the first book here is Modern Compliance. I've purchased this twice on June 8th. If we take a look at the Keep a chart, again, Same story, look at the black used price, look at the sales rank overlap. We can see, okay, when I bought this book, this is the data that I was looking at. I saw some drops here, $60. I saw a couple drops here, or well, actually one drop here for $400. I saw a couple drops here for about $76. And we can go back further. There's a drop here for $289 and a couple drops there for $7. Now on March, let's see, this would have been, actually no, this would have been February 26th. I set a tracker for $9. So if the price of this book ever got to $9, send me an email. It actually did happen on this date where the price went down to $7.91. I got an email notification and I also got a message on my phone, opened it up and said, yo, this is an undervalued book. Let me go buy it. And some proof that was a good buy is that later on, this book has sold a couple of times for over $50. Right now, my book is going to be sent into inventory, but I'm pretty sure that I'm easily going to be able to sell this book for around $85. And the projected profit on that would be $45. And like I said, Amazon Prime bump, it's possible I could sell it for over $85. Probably I'll send it into the warehouse with my repricer, given the min price like at $85, max price probably like $150. And depending on what the buy box is at, it'll just, go ahead and change the price depending on the competition. Now let's go back to the Art Forager book because I didn't show you the breakdown there. Purchased it for $47, sold for $189. Made a profit of $107. Okay, last book I'm going to show you is this book called Attention and Motor Skill Learning. Okay, so I bought this book on July 16th. Again, same story. Let's look at the black use line. Let's overlap the sales rank. We can see a couple of drops for over $200 here. You can see some drops for over $150. You can see some recent drops for over $115. And if we go back into history, the last year or so, we see a number of drops of, lowest being about 50 to 60 and, higher around being about 150. So back back on June, this would have been June 20th, I set a tracker for $36. At that time, the lowest used price was $71. So I said, hey, if this ever gets to $36, send me a notification. It turns out that did in fact happen on this date, July 16th. So if I go and zoom in on July 16th, you can see the price dropped down below $36. I went ahead and bought it. That would be the sales rank drop there. That's when I went ahead and purchased it. And then later on, I haven't sold this yet, but I project to be able to sell this in the region of between probably on the low end, about $120, on the high end, up to $237. I mean, there's historical data showing that that has actually happened. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, the projected sell price is $175, profit is $85. But probably what I'm really going to do is send it into Amazon, my repricer. I'm going to put my min price probably around that like $120 mark, put the max price around like $290, $300. And again, it's just going to adjust based upon the competition and go from there. All right, everybody. I hope you found this useful. Using the track product feature, the secret to Keepa is awesome, right? You basically find books that have the potential to go down in value. They have the potential to go to a price at which you can make money if you were to buy it at that lowered value and sell it for its true value. You can do that using the track product feature. It's quite simple. You just type in the price that you want the book to drop to. And if it ever does drop to that amount, you get a notification. You can go back and look back at the listing and determine if you still think it's a good buy. I do this all the time. I just showed you a few examples, but I sell hundreds of books just like this where I get notifications from Keepa and I'm able to buy books that are undervalued and then just turn right back around and sell them right back on Amazon for their true value. And if you do that over a long period of time and you set these Keepa trackers, you're going to be profitable. You're going to make money. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.